What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls Podcast.
Hey, Joey.
There's Joey. Presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download their app. Be sure to use promo code CHGO when you sign up. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. Join me with my guys, Big Dave, Bow, BAWL Sports, Will, the GOAT Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb, perfectly coiffed per usual. Got the gams out. All games are out today.
Gams out.
Warm. And our pal producer, Joey Spathis, on the controls. Y'all, this is a pre-recorded episode that we're dropping for y'all on Thursday because this time tomorrow, Big Dave and I are going to be jetting out to Denver. Soak up some of those winning NBA vibes.
Should be fun.
It's been a minute since we've felt that kind of excitement.
Yeah.
NBA Finals tip-off kind of excitement.
That's
so
true.
we wanted to go over to Denver, catch up with our DNVR Nuggets crew, all of our DNVR fam, hang out with them, check out the DNVR bar, and just soak those vibes up. So we wanted to make sure you guys still had an episode for today, so that's why we're doing this right now.
That's it. Nothing else to add to that, but that's all that is.
That's all it is. So we figured we'd do some more AMAs because we got plenty of questions from you guys out there in Bulls Nation. Appreciate everybody who threw us some questions, comments. We'll get to as many as we can. We're going to start out with a doozy. You ready for this one?
No.
Woo! This one comes from the Educator23 on Twitter. Shout out. Is AK bad at talent evaluation? Williams is already a mistake, and nearly a bust. Damn. And Terry could have been Christian Brown or Hardy or almost anyone else. Why does he keep drafting young guys who've never played well in college?
Almost anyone else.
I would amend, and then I'll throw it to you guys. It's kind of insulting to say Patrick Williams and Dalen Terry didn't play well in college. Yeah. Dalen Terry was a huge part of a pretty good Arizona team.
He really was.
And Patrick Williams, even though he was a one-and-done freshman year guy who didn't start, played a big role on a really good Florida State team.
It's the reason he was one.
So that I don't agree with, but I do think it's a fair question to ask, generally speaking. Dave, I know you're going to disagree with his take on Dalen Terry.
Well, yeah. I'm going to disagree with it. It's hard for me to assess what Dalen Terry because I haven't seen him play. So it's hard for me to just sit there and say he's, bad at, evaluating talent because of Dalen Terry. No. I think Dalen Terry can play, and hopefully we get to see it next season, but that's another story. Is he bad at evaluating talent? I'm going to say no, but I think the question is fair. When you haven't seen it for the couple of years that he's been here, you're looking for a splash, especially when you're drafting at the number 4. They want a splash in Patrick Williams. They want it, and they want it now. And they're looking around the league, and they're like, these guys are doing it now. Jalen Williams is doing it now. How come these guys aren't doing it now? Well, everybody isn't like that. Some people, it takes time to grow and takes time to get into. That's the only part I kind of disagree with is I'd rather have a little more patience and see what these guys become. I always give guys a little more time to figure out who they are. Some guys I just know you can just look and tell and say, well, he's not going to be this. You just know it. Some guys you just know. But overall, it's a fair question, but I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I think there are guys where it's like this is going to be an obvious hit. Like you don't have to think about whether or not Victor Wembanyama is going to be a stud.
Right.
But outside of that, you're kind of just looking for like basketball traits that you want to invest in. And guys have drawbacks, guys have flaws. But for Patrick, at least, it was at a time when the Bulls were still in grassroots, like built from the ground up mode. They saw and identified a player who is a big wing, 6'7", 6'8", good athlete, good touch, super young at that time and still is, obviously. But it just hasn't really worked out in the sense that the development, I think, has been what has lacked. Same for Dalen Terry. He averaged 6 points a game in college, 8 points his sophomore year after he was drafted. Like, he's not a scorer, but that doesn't make him a bad player or a miss.
Right.
There are guys that I think come in and contribute at a high level, Walker Kessler being a great example, who was drafted in the mid-20s, being one of the best rim protectors in the league last year. So that happens, and I get that it's frustrating that that hasn't happened for the Bulls. I think, for me, the bigger question is, like, has he identified the right traits to go after? And the fact that we're drafting year after year guys that can't shoot is maybe an indicator that, like, shooting isn't important to AK, or that he feels like he can develop that, but the development part hasn't been there. So I think it's more like drafting is a crapshoot, right? Like these guys develop at different rates. We don't know who's going to be who. We don't know what's what. A lot of times you're investing in a person that you like or a skill set that you like, but obviously you'd like to see more hits. But
yeah, and I'd say also to his point, and Matt's not going to like this at all, but I would say also to his point, you look at the previous regime. You look at what Garpax was doing when they were drafted. I've always felt that's where they were strongest at, was the draft. They drafted a lot of great talent that came in and immediately impacted and immediately did something when he walked out there on the floor.
Yeah.
So I think he's just used to seeing that kind of thing and, not having to wait 3-4 years. But
at the same time, they had a lot of misses too.
No, tons.
Yeah.
That's just
tons,
how it goes.
tons.
It's very difficult to hit on every pick.
Tons.
Whereas you might say, okay, they've been on the job far fewer years than Garpax. Let's keep that in mind always. Oh, my God.
Tells you wasn't going to like it.
Bulls fans who are already skeptical of AK and Eversley and their scouting department's talent evaluation skills might say, well, where's the hit? As you said, the previous regime had hits and misses. Nobody bats 1,000 in the draft. As you said, Will, it's a crapshoot. Where are the hits? Well, after his rookie year, you could have very easily made the argument, Ayo Dosunmu, second-round pick, that's a hit. He struggled in year 2.
Yeah.
Not to say that Ayo can't bounce back from a rough sophomore season. A lot of NBA players have them.
Sure.
And find himself a solid role in the NBA. You can still make the argument that was a hit as far as getting value as in a second-round pick. But you can make the argument just as easily that Marko Simonovic, speaking of second-round picks, unplayable. According to Billy Donovan, at least, unplayable.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, as much as we like to cheer on the Windy City Bulls and keep an eye on some of the talent that's developing there, him getting 20-some points and double-digit rebounds in Windy City Bulls games is not the why don't we get Marco Hours on the real team argument that I think some Bulls fans think it is. The thing about talent evaluation, and I agree with what you said, Will, is I don't think that they are bad at finding talent because I think Patrick Williams is talented as hell.
Yeah.
Now, does part of talent evaluation include knowing whether or not some player has the it factor, the drive, the motor, whichever way you want to describe it? Because maybe that is what people think is holding Patrick Williams back right now. I still tend to say role on team and needing a better role and a higher role on team for us to see Pat bring that out of himself. But they certainly saw Patrick Williams' talent. It's there.
Yeah.
They can find talent. They can see talent.
Yeah.
But I think also, like, you look at Patrick in comparison to Dalen, maybe they felt like they had to over-index on, like, dog in him, quality, because Patrick doesn't really have that, by going and getting a guy who doesn't necessarily have, like, the skill that Patrick has, but
So you're
has
saying
that dog in
Dalen's,
spades.
like,
Tons
got
of-
a little bit of the goon, high motor stuff, was an overcorrection to drafting Pat, who seems to
Exactly.
be lacking in that area.
The other thing is, in trading away a bunch of future draft picks, I do think that says something about how you view the value of draft picks. James Jones got in kind of like a lot of trouble for saying that about the Suns, that they didn't really value draft picks, that they would rather try to find guys as free agents or in trades. They obviously did a great job drafting Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, but I do think that says something about the way that he views talent in that sense. But then you have to also consider the talent that he's brought in via trade and via free agency. Clearly hit on Lonzo before the injuries, clearly hit on Caruso.
Yeah.
Vooch, again, maybe an overpay, but he obviously has a formula for how he wants to play basketball, and I think he's looking for guys that fit that formula more than anything else.
It is a fair question at this point because you're frustrated wanting to have seen more from Pat through 3 years, even with mostly missing his second season with an injury, and Dalen not getting much of any look in Billy's rotation as his rookie year came to a close. I get it. I think it's too early to say conclusively that AK can't scout talent, that he can't identify talent.
Yeah, just like the talent, he needs more time.
And as of right now, we might not get our next chance at seeing if he can spot talent in the draft until 2024.
Yeah.
Unless the Bulls make a move between now and draft night to get back into this draft.
Yeah, true indeed. Good point.
Sort of on a somewhat related note, I wanted to also touch on this, and it comes to us from our guy Easy over in France. Shout out Easy.
My guy.
Who said, don't you think the Bulls could make a fast rebuild if the Bulls only had the guts to do it? Caruso, DeRozan, and Levine won't ever have this value again. The last time we didn't have this kind of value, except Jimmy. Go for it and be smart. Thoughts?
That's been my argument for a while now, is like this rebuild doesn't have to be as painful because you have assets that you can flip that set you up better than the last time. One of the more difficult pills to swallow about the Jimmy trade was that they didn't get any pick compensation. They moved up in the draft. They gave their pick at 16 to Minnesota, and they didn't get any future first-round picks. If you don't do that, you basically are committing to the value of your own draft pick driving the value of the trade. And I don't think that you look at the Thunder, the Rockets, the Nets, all these teams that are acquiring a ton of draft picks are also betting on other teams to fail, not just for them to be bad during the short term. So I think they could accumulate a ton of picks just the way that the marketplace works right now. You get multiple years worth of draft picks for Zach, DeMar, maybe Caruso, and some young players in there as well. Your team starts to go the other direction. The value of your own pick improves, but it's not just relying on that. It's getting in basically multiple sources of income, right? You're looking at, can this team suffer and we benefit? Can we get a young player here? Can we hit on the draft? So you just have to look at it from a more holistic approach. And I do think if they did a good job, and it goes back to what we were just talking about, hitting on draft picks, identifying talent, and actually getting guys and developing them, you have to do that part of it too. But you need to set yourself up to have a lot of bites at the apple.
Yeah, that's true. I've been saying trade Caruso for a while. Like I keep saying, he's rims on a car. Because he's a luxury, and I'm okay with trading him. And now with him being first team all defense, I don't think his value will be any higher at any time. Like it's super high right now. So I would have been definitely make that move for him. Also for DeMar, I'm okay with making that trade as well. So could it rebuild? Could it be quick? Sure. You know what I mean? Everything's a kind of a crapshoot, but you can, like Will said, you can definitely set yourself up something sweet and nice, because you have some actual assets on your team that you can give away and still keep some that you have, like Zach LaVine. And obviously, clearly, you're trying to sign Vooch. And then, obviously, you'll have to depend on the younger guys there, like a Dalen, like a Cody, and like Kobe, and a Justin Lewis and those kind of guys to see what they can pan out to be.
I love that you're on the Justin Lewis bandwagon.
Dude, we was there on Summer League, brother. I was with you then. I think he's a player. I'm interested to see if they still make those moves, because in my head, these are moves that can still be made.
Right.
And for me, that's acceptable rebuilding things. You know what I mean? It's not a complete tear down to the studs kind of situation.
Appreciate the question, Easy. I think it's a good one. And again, I think Bulls fans get terrified when they hear that word rebuild or the phrase blow it up, because we still remember, it's fresh in our minds, the 4 or 5 years that happened post Jimmy and how dark and painful those were to live through. We don't want to go through that again. But if you add a solid haul in trading any and all of these guys that make up your current core with young talent that's shown elsewhere in the league that they can play, and they can play now, it does not have to be the same kind of rebuild where you're languishing season after season after season and then whamming your head against the wall when you end up 7th in the lottery again.
Whammy.
Let's not do that. Whammy. All right, let's take our first break. We'll come back. We'll dive into more AMAs, including one from our pal Jamal from Bulls Central and at local Bulls fan. While we're doing that, hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching along on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Dave, who's up first?
Ow. Pins and Aces is up first, because they're official golf apparel partner of ALLCITY and CHGO. So Will Gottlieb is going to look amazing when he puts that gear on. And you're going to love your Pins and Aces because he get tons of compliments when he put it on, because he got the gams out and he's going to hit that ball far and look awesome doing it. They're family
away from the fairway.
This in itself. That means he's good, ladies and gentlemen. Well, in our opinion. They are family-owned golf and apparel business. They make amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and even that awesome Matt Peck beer sleeve. That innovative product that allows you to store 7 beers, or as Matt says, sixer in a roadie.
Sixer in a roadie.
That's what it is, yes. Right inside your golf bag and keep them drinks frosty cold the entire round. So check out pinsandaces.com. Use the code CHGO and receive 15% off your first order and get yourself some free shipping while you're at it. Because it's Pins and Aces. When you play good, when you look good, you play good. When you play good, it's all good.
All good.
Shirtless one in the house.
Woo woo. Today's episode also brought to you by our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Sunnyside is your home. Joey's excited. Joey's your home. So Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping.
My home is also your home for that. Not shopping, but
there you go. Joey giving you guys a Mikasa Sukasa. A place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. One-stop shop for all your cannabis needs, no matter where you are on your cannabis journey. They offer easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Great transparent loyalty program. They call it Sunnyside Rewards.
Sunnyside
Try all of their different products. They got flour. They got tinctures. They've got gummies and all kinds of edibles. Shout out to Good News Gummies. They are my favorite. I love those. You can get them at the Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensaries. So head to sunnyside.shop. Do some shopping online and use promo code CHGO25 for 25% off your total order at checkout for everything you need to elevate your summer. Summer is here, Chicago. Summer is here. So, sunnyside.shop, promo code CHGO25 for 25% off your total order at checkout. Must be 21 and over or an Illinois Med card holder. Sunnyside.
Sunnyside.
I live on a street called Sunnyside at home.
Did you guys see the our social media team crew, Casey and Emma and Scott, who did the 2 ballpark challenge today?
Yes.
Rewarded themselves and celebrated by stopping by the Sunnyside in Wrigleyville.
Ooh.
After making it, so they're trying to do 3 innings at each ballpark, beer and a dog at each ballpark. They made it to Wrigley. Top of the 7th, made it in time for the 7th inning stretch.
Good.
And watched that dramatic finish of Wrigley. Sadly, the Cubs came out on the losing end. But
sorry, Cody.
And then it was like, well, how do you make yourself feel better and keep those summer vibes going after a tough Cubs L? Stop by your local Sunnyside Dispensary.
Sunnyside Dispensary.
There it is. All right, guys, keeping things rolling. Jamal from Bull Central, shout out to you, buddy.
Shout out.
Always a pleasure. Asks us, how much would you be willing to give up for that 3rd pick in the draft, assuming the Blazers are still looking to ship it out? I think basically the real question there is, are you willing to send Zach and or DeMar in a trade that nets you a top 3 pick in this draft class? Yep. That's the question.
I would do it for Scoot. I don't think I would do it for Brandon Miller. I would consider it for Amen Thompson, but that would be risky. If Scoot was there, I would do it. Brandon Miller, I think he has a high floor as a very high-end role player, but I don't see A1 star potential the way that I do Scoot. So I feel like if you're getting a guy who can be the face of the franchise moving forward, who can be your point guard of the future, I think Scoot is going to be that guy wherever he goes, and that's kind of the asking price that I'd be looking at.
Do you think, what's the likelihood you think he'll be there, though?
Well, all the buzz right now is that Charlotte's going to look at Brandon Miller at 2. He fits better alongside LaMelo Ball.
Okay.
Maybe some questions about the backcourt fit with Scoot and Melo. I don't really see it. I feel like those guys could coexist, and we have no idea what Charlotte's actually going to do, but that's kind of why I've been thinking we're not going to see anything with that 3rd pick until the Blazers are on the clock, until they know who is available at 3, because that really changes what they'll be able to get with that pick, because I think most teams would agree that Scoot is really that dude.
But to the point we were making earlier, he is another guy that can't shoot. So,
Scoot?
Yeah.
Well, he is not a shooter, that is correct, but he is I think having non-shooters as a primary ball handler is one thing. Having non-shooters as guys who are supposed to space the floor and shoot is another thing.
Right.
So Scoot can get to the rim at will. He's got a stop on a dime, money jump shot from the elbow.
Yeah, he does have a nice mid-range game.
Great mid-range game, phenomenal passer and facilitator. He's explosive athlete, gets to the rim, gets the free throw line. I think he is athletic enough to make teams pay for going under because they'll still be able to get to the rim.
Sure.
And he's also just in the film that I've watched, a true commander. He's a true leader. He is calm and poised the way that I see out of Damian Lillard. I just think he's going to be a star, and that's the kind of guy I'd be looking at.
Well, yeah, those are the traits that the Bulls are lacking in certain aspects. Not even the game I'm talking about. I'm just talking about leadership and controlling the team and the roster. And as you know, point guard is my favorite position. So it's a lot more Scoot Harrison I got to go watch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, to feel what you and Joey feel about him. But from the clips I've seen of him, everything you said is correct, especially that pull-up mid-range. I was like, yeah, that's wet.
Go look at his build, too. He just looks like he's physically coming in with a body type that just looks like he's ready.
He looks like
an edge rusher.
It's crazy.
Looks like an edge rusher, yes. So, would I do it? Sure. Yeah, I'm okay with doing it. Only because we've seen what we've seen for so many years.
Yeah.
I'm okay with moving on and starting over with what I think is the quarterback in the NBA, and that's a point guard. And it's a position we haven't gotten right since Derrick Rose. So I'm okay with just starting it over and allowing him to lead.
I think, for me, the difference between Scoot and Brandon Miller is that I think Brandon Miller might struggle at the NBA level to be like a shot creator. Mm-hmm. He's a really good floor spacer, can shoot off the catch, off the move, can get into like a step back game a little bit, but struggles to get all the way downhill. I'm just not sure you can run an offense through him. Amen Thompson, even worse of a shooter than Scoot, but is a more explosive athlete, can get to the rim at will. Incredible passer, probably the best passer in this class. Great defensive player, 6'7" point guard. Just going to be super explosive.
Yeah, the buzz I've heard about Amen is like people think he next year could be the most athletic perimeter player in the NBA, year one.
His highlight package is insane.
Very raw, but the athleticism is like 99.9 percentile.
Comparing him to like a 6'7" Ja Morant, if that matters to you.
It matters.
Yeah, he's a solid athlete.
He's going to be great, but I think the questions about him are more, can he actually do that at the NBA level? How do you compare Overtime Elite to the G League Ignite? Mm-hmm. What is that really? What competition level is that, and how does that compare? And then, is his ability to get all the way to the rim and be a shot creator going to also work at the NBA level? I think that's a question. But I would, if I'm swinging for the fences, I'd go Amen over Brandon Miller for sure.
Scoot is 6'2" with a wingspan of 6'9".
He's a freak.
That's insane.
That's what I'm talking about.
Insane.
And like the way that
he use that.
Yeah.
We can do like a whole draft breakdown at some point, but watching those first two games that they played against Victor Wembanyama, he was attacking Wembanyama at the rim.
I remember that game.
Finishing over the top.
He didn't give a damn.
Well, that's the other part of Scoot's game is like, and it's harder to quantify, but
he takes it
Peck
personally.
doesn't like that phrase, but he is 100% dog in him. Like, he is not afraid.
Just say goon.
He's a goon. That's a goon. Yeah, I forgot. It's been a while since the regular season, since playing lost.
I understand.
But he is 100% goon.
Yeah, you can see it, like, and that's the game I saw, and that's what it was. You could see he took that personally. Like, I don't give a damn about Victor Wembanyama, dog. Y'all should be looking at me, and I like stuff like that. That's all gooned up with talent too. Yeah, that's good. 6'9" wingspan. That's insane.
My short answer to that question, yes, I would be willing to give up basically anything to get into the top three because it would signify the Bulls recognizing they need to make a strong turn and making that strong turn.
Me too.
Moving on, at local Bulls fan asks, in a perfect hypothetical world, ooh, don't say that phrase to me. What move would you guys make to save the Bulls next season? Well, y'all know what my 1A is.
I was just about to say that. Like, wouldn't that be the 1A?
What'd you say, Go?
Trading for Scoot?
Trading for Scoot.
Wouldn't that be it?
That would be. You know what else would be in that top tier of ideal offseason moves that I know isn't going to happen? Go get Fred VanVleet. I want Fred VanVleet.
You want Fred?
I want him. He's got a player option.
He does.
For his final year in Toronto, which is only like $22 million, and just go get him. Sign and trade, or if he turns that down because he can get more money on a new multi-year deal. And guess what? I know that means going into the tax. You said a perfect hypothetical world.
That's what you said.
In this perfect hypothetical world, the people who own this organization worth damn near $5 billion will pay the damn luxury tax to add talent to a team to try and help them win and compete at a high level.
Oh, the recovery on that, ladies and gentlemen, was spectacular.
Almost went back.
Almost went back, but the rage allowed him to hold on to that and throw that joint up there. It is the offseason, and he's tossing hats. In a hypothetical, he is tossing hats.
Never let go of the rage.
But yeah, I think I agree with. I think that's the move you do. Like, if that would signal, like, okay, we starting over. That would signal, okay, we're bringing in some real talent right here, and we're bringing in a guy who as Will said, can be a leader for your team. And when you're putting it all on his back that way, and a guy who's willing to carry it and wants to carry it, and has that goon, which I love, deep inside him with a 6'9" goddamn wingspan. That's insane. So, yeah, that would be the move I think you'll make. I don't think there's any super trade I can really think of to get on here. Plus, the people I want to trade for, Matt does not want. So,
and if you're talking about like a rebuild or a teardown,
LeBron James,
you're going after hopefully getting a guy that is like Scoot.
Yeah.
So if you're going to reset, go get that franchise guy that you can have for 10, 12, 15 years and be the face of your franchise.
Yeah. Face of the franchise, man. Something wrong with me. You know what this reminds me of? And this is just an old school reference here, but this will remind me of something of Reggie Theus before they got Michael Jordan. That's what it reminds me of. Like Reggie Theus was dope. You know what I mean? The great player for the Chicago Bulls. But when, Mike came in, you're like, okay, well, come on, dog. We got to start over. You know what I'm saying? Let's build around this. So it would kind of signal that kind of thing to me. Not saying you all know I love Zach. He's amazing, dog. But, yeah, generational talent is generational talent, man.
Yeah. Thank you, local Bulls fan, for the question. We will get to a couple more coming up after this last break to round out our AMA episode for the day. While we're doing that, hit that thumbs up button if you're watching along on YouTube.
Thank you.
It's right there. We appreciate it. Helps us out a lot.
Thank you.
Big Dave, who's up?
Foco!
Foco!
Get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Where you get that from? I just said it to you. Foco! Them hoodies, them shoes, them signs, them bobbleheads, and everything in betwixt. It's spring. It's baseball season. So guess what? You got to be out there. Aloha shirts, straw hats, polos, bags, everything you need for a game. When they say bags, they talking about the bags that for the bag toss, right?
Or tote bags.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to figure out which one. Okay. I'm going to assume it's the bag toss right there. That's my assumption right there. They playing bag toss at baseball games? They doing that?
If it's a ballpark that has tailgating options, then yeah. Like, I'm guessing White Sox folk, when they're doing Sox tailgates, will just bring their bags boards to the parking lot.
That is very true. You're right.
And I'm pretty sure they do also have sets in that Gallagher Way Park at Wrigley now.
Okay.
That people can just play if they're hanging out there.
Okay. All right. Well, then get them bags from Foco. That's what you do. And, of course, set decoration set up. Foco showing us love right here. All kinds of love is what they do. So show them some as well, y'all. Check out Foco.com. Click the link below in the description if you don't go to the site. For all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO and get yourself 10% off because it's Foco. Faux show.
Today's episode also brought to you by our friends at DraftKings.
DraftKings.
Join the NBA Finals action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NBA, our official betting partner at CHGO. New customers can bet just $5 and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can take a shot at bigger payouts with those DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code CHGO. Again, new customers can place a $5 bet and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Are you on the Nuggets? Are you on the Heat? Pick a side. Who's winning NBA Finals MVP? Pick a side. Pick a player. And place those bets at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code CHGO. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in Massachusetts, 800-327-5050, or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 800-522-4700 on behalf of Boot Hill and Casino and Resort, 21 and over in most eligible states. 21. But age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in and 10-plus leg required for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. All right, next up, at Maneater Pug. Wow. Have you ever seen a pug successfully consume a human being?
On Men in Black. Maybe that's all.
Does he eat somebody? The little talking pug in Men in Black?
Yeah. No, he just talks a lot and stuff, man. He doesn't really eat one. No.
Dennis Rodman gets a shout out in that OG first Men in Black movie.
He does get the shout out.
In one of the scenes with the dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, I knew it.
Maneater Pug asks, what are your favorite non-sports related things about Chicago?
Oh, man. Favorite non-sports related things. Well, the people. The people are awesome. The food, of course, is amazing in Chicago. Summertime in Chicago is just an amazing time. I like the fall personally. I think the fall is the best in Chicago, man, because you got the sports
hoodie
going
weather.
on, but the hoodie weather, the
Leaves
option
crunching.
weather. That's what I call it, option weather, because you can wear shorts with the hoodie.
Yeah.
And you all know I'm rocking a pair of these right here.
That doesn't stop you from wearing shorts and a hoodie every single day in
That's
the winter
fair.
and
You wear
summer,
shorts
too.
and hoodie
fair.
365.
That's fair.
But to be fair, it's-
320.
Well, yeah, sometimes you just shed the hoodie.
Yeah, that's because it's wintertime. So, yeah, about 320, 300. Yeah, about that.
I would also add the lakefront in the summer.
Yes.
Just walking
Yeah, man.
lakefront. Oh, it's so nice.
It is nice doing, yeah, and it's so many places. Like, there's something different on every single block. You know, like it's so dope. Like, everybody's next to each other, kind of in certain areas, but everything is different on every single block.
Yeah. The neighborhood fests. I
Yes,
think you get a good sense of that.
Street fests.
Oh my
Street
God,
fests.
Chosen
Chicago
Few
Fest,
picnic,
Burger Fest.
the Hyde Park Festival going on. It's so many things. Museum of Science and Industry is always awesome. The Obama Library is going up as well. It's just a ton of things. Music. There's just tons and tons of music here in Chicago, man. Music
Concerts
venues.
at Northerly Island.
Oh, my
always
goodness,
near the
man.
top of my list.
Yeah, there are so many. Just
Art Institute.
dope-
I was just about to say Art Institute.
Art
Yeah.
Institute. Never like I'm never bored if I'm
Yeah.
at the Art Institute.
And
you
a
can,
ton-
you can go a million times.
A ton of like real dope underground bars that I will not name because they won't remain underground anymore. But there's
I
a
thought
ton
we
of
were
those spots.
in the trust tree. Are we not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't remain underground if I don't tell you.
Yeah, everybody's got their local dives that are undiscovered
The
dives
best.
still,
Oh.
and you got to keep those secret.
to your heart.
Keep it
you know?
secret. Keep it safe.
They're yours. They're yours.
But yes, you mentioned food. Steakhouses, Italian beef sandwiches,
Tacos.
tacos, pizza. Obviously,
Pizza, obviously.
I'm just
No, it's so many wonderful things about the city, man, and everything can be different. You could be a different thing every single day. You know, you can travel the world through your stomach in Chicago.
I want to cut that. What is your favorite part of Chicago that's not the sports? And then Peck goes, steakhouses, Italian beef sandwiches. Dave goes, tacos. That's the final answer.
Food.
That's it.
food,
Chicagoans love food,
people, and food.
except for this one who doesn't let himself eat anything tasty.
I eat tons and tons of tasty, awesome morsels. That's amazing.
Morsels.
Morsels, just craving. But it's fun. Joey, what's your favorite thing about Chicago, sir?
I just like I like how I went to school in Austin, and so there's less appreciation for the summer weather because it's just nicer for more of the year. So I do like when the weather finally starts to change, you could really feel like the vibes of the whole city lifting up. Even the last couple days, just walking out back to your car from here from the studio, like it's just a good feeling. Sun's out a little bit later, it stays light out. It's just nice.
It is.
It's like
Just that
animals coming
feeling,
out of
you know?
hibernation this
Just
time of year
that
in Chicago.
feeling, summertime
feeling.
Chicago.
And
just
it's
a feeling.
people are just happy.
yeah.
I mean, Chicagoans, by and large, kind of like that Midwest friendliness to them, for sure. Like, we are a friendly people. And that's one of my favorite things about Chicago, is
true.
people are friendly. But May in Chicago?
Yeah.
Man, a stranger in Chicago on a gorgeous day like today in late May, heading into June, will not only give you the shirt off their back, they will give you the skin off their back if you ask them to.
I don't want you to
I
do
would
that.
not do that.
Yeah, I'm going to need you
do
not
not
to
ask
do
me
that.
for my skin.
Guys,
just-
you're going to need your skin.
I'm just saying.
If you
people
ask
would.
Will for his skin, he will call the authorities. We'll just tell you like that. And he'd be right, too. But I understand your point. Can I get your skin?
I'm imagining it like
Metaphorically
some guys
speaking.
like, hey, excuse me, sir, Peck, can I have your shirt? My shirt? Take my skin.
My skin.
And he's just walking around like
I would like to keep my shirt,
as a bunch of muscle.
but you
like,
can't have my skin.
Oh, man. No, it's a beautiful city. I love it. I love being from here. I love talking about it.
Eating
the
and
best.
drinking on patios of restaurants, decks
Yeah.
of restaurants and bars, and rooftops. Chicago rooftops. It's one of my favorite things.
Oh, yeah, the rooftop.
hanging,
You're
on,
right.
hanging on the rooftop in
That's
Chicago.
true. That's a great point. Chicago has rooftops, awesome things. You know what? And shout out to Shirtless Wonder because I just
Oh,
noticed
he is fully reclined.
He's fully reclined in his seat, but I just noticed the man has lights up around his patio out here where he's hanging out, man. He's got lights around it. I never noticed that before. Respect to him. He understands.
I think that's one of those zero gravity chairs that he's reclining in right now.
That's why he sits in it all the time.
It's just fully reclined. Yeah. He's just coasting.
It's wild. He's out for 5 minutes and then goes back in. Like, it's just
beautiful.
That's why he's the wonder.
It's
the
beautiful.
Shirtless Wonder. Shout out Lady Wonder. We can't wait to see you again.
Our buddy Salim from Bulls Gold Pod
Dream
asks, what's a really good show you guys are watching right now? Or, if not a show, what's a good book you're reading? What are they about without giving away spoilers? I am not caught up on Succession. Not caught up on the last season of Ted Lasso. But I am watching those shows.
I have to watch the last episode of Ted Lasso. There's the
just
final episode
today, right?
Was last night.
Yeah.
The very last episode of the whole series.
The whole shebang.
And the last season has been phenomenal. Really enjoyed it. It's been dramatic, funny, but like very touching and a lot of good character development. One of my favorite shows ever, for sure. Honestly,
a lot of people say. Yeah.
Really like it. My pitch for it is like, hey, you want to feel good on the inside after you watch this? Watch this show. Like, you just feel good after watching it. So
Spathis pitch.
Yep.
Summer and Ted Lasso got Joey in a good mood.
Yeah.
It's really
Joey pitch count.
It's a good show.
Joey pitch count.
Can't say enough good things about Ted Lasso. It's really good.
It is a very good show.
Okay. Well, Succession, I'm on the last season right now. About the 5th episode of that. Watching the 2nd season of X Hunters on Amazon Prime, which Al Pacino.
Ex-hunters?
Yeah, it's a show about
they're like PIs hunting down people's ex-significant others?
They're hunting. This is based in the 70s, and they're actually hunting down ex-Nazis.
Ooh.
It's like a group of Jewish people. Well, actually, it's not just a group of Jewish people. It's Jewish people. It's some Asian, a couple of black people. But yeah, just a whole rainbow coalition of people band together, and they hunt down and murder Nazis, and they go find Hitler, because in this reality, Hitler is still alive. And
okay.
So they go.
This sounds sort of like Inglourious Bastards.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Gotcha.
Exactly what it is.
Okay.
And it's entertaining. That's the best way I could put it to you. It's very entertaining. I'm on the last episode of season 2. I don't know if it'll be a season 3, but it's damn sure entertaining, man. I could definitely say that about it. So
And the legend Al Pacino.
Yeah. Shout out to that.
I saw
Power. Shout out to
since
Power.
this is a basketball podcast, I did see this book that I saw it a couple of times on Twitter, Spaced Out, how the NBA's three-point revolution changed everything you know about basketball. So that's something that's on my list by Mike. Yeah. It just I read like a couple of the blurbs that they had, like you could preview, and it has some really, just breaks down some of the newer defensive coverages, some of the terminology, and it was honestly just an interesting.
Super smart guy.
Yeah, so that was on my short list for the summer.
Listen, as far as books, the autobiography of Duke Ellington, I'm in the middle of, so I'm reading that.
Ooh.
I like autobiographies.
That's probably a pretty interesting read.
Yeah, I like autobiographies a lot. Those are my favorite things.
I just finally finished the one on Grant, Ulysses S. Grant.
Yes.
Civil War general / president, by the same author who did that Hamilton book. That inspired Lin-Manuel to make Hamilton the musical.
Nice.
It took me a friggin' lifetime to book this frickin' fat.
You're so large.
But fascinating.
Yeah.
I love reading books about historic figures.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Go.
Just finished Succession. That was awesome. Highly recommend you guys finish.
I'm on my way.
I also just watched another HBO show called Love and Death.
Yeah, I heard about it with Elizabeth
Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting, kind of weird.
Okay.
Pretty weird.
Okay.
But good. Strange story.
Okay.
Like based on a true crime story from the 70s.
Oh, Barry. I'm finishing up Barry.
I
gotta go back and finish that.
I need to catch up on the last season of Barry.
season
Haven't started season, what is it, season 4?
Yeah, it's 4 seasons of it. Or maybe it's 5, and I just don't know. But I know it just ended. Whatever it is,
Yeah,
it just
the
ended.
most recent season I got to catch up on.
Yeah. I'm on season 3. That's what I'm at right now. So it's a 3 and a 4.
I think I finished season 3. Is 4 the new one?
4 is
and the final one?
Yeah.
I believe so.
I believe 4 is
Okay.
the new and the final one. So yeah, catching up on those. It's a bunch of other shows that I'm just not.
Too many shows, too many
remembering
books,
off
not
the top
enough
of my
time.
head. Yeah,
Dave,
man.
should I watch Snowfall? You watch
Oh
Snowfall,
my God!
right?
Look, Snowfall is one of the greatest shows that's ever been created on television.
I saw people debating it and putting it side by side with The Wire.
Yeah, I did see that too. I don't like that. I don't like what people are doing. It's more Breaking Bad than it is The Wire.
Okay.
It really is. And I thought Breaking Bad was the greatest show ever created. And I
great.
still think that. Mm-hmm. For the first 3 seasons, it was that in Breaking Bad. For the first 3, maybe 4, it was right there, dog. it's the last season and how it ended was the most realistic portrayal of what drugs did to people in the black community. It was completely honest. You know what I mean? It wasn't no superhero shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, everybody just turned into Dom Toretto and it's just a super, drug dealer. No, bro. It showed you the effects and what it does and how it affected every single person, including the person who's actually making profit from it. So it did a tremendous job of that, man. Yes, watch that show. Excellent show.
I wanted to ask because I know that you had good things to say, but it seems like everybody who had watched it had just rave reviews.
It's worth your time. And they do it, and it's from John Singleton, who passed away. Rest in peace to him. They did a great job of because he passed before it finished, and they did a great job of just honoring him throughout those last 2 seasons, just putting little nuggets in there, showing just little nuggets in there about him. You know what I mean? Cool. That was really, really cool. You know what I mean? So no, they did a great job, great job on that show. Great job. It's worth your time, Joe.
All right. Thank you for all the questions, everybody. We'll continue to do some fun AMA episodes throughout the off season. You can always hit us up, CHGO_Bulls on Twitter. We got to go do a live show now.
Yeah.
So you can find us there. Will and our guy Mark A will have a fresh HQ for you guys Friday to round out the week. We're going to go hang out in Denver with some people watching the finals, cheering on their Denver Nuggets, and then we'll come back and talk about how those finals are going next week. But yeah, live show here coming up next. In the meantime, Joey's at Joey Spathis, Will_Gottlieb, Big Dave, Bow, BWL Sports, I'm Bulls_Peck. Talk to you soon. See you, Red. Be good.
Exactly.